to elevate your IELTS speaking game. Today, we are diving into a goldmine of ideas that will not also boost your vocabulary and grammar, but also skyrocket your confidence in the speaking section. Stay tuned because the path to fluency begins right here. So today I'm here with Cambridge IELTS 18 second test. So without further ado, let's dive in. Alright, I'm going to answer some questions as I have promised. So if you don't know what IELTS speaking is or how the process is going to go, I totally recommend you watching this video because it's going to help you very much. But anyways, I'm going to review what IELTS speaking is generally. It has got 3 parts. It's going to take you about 15 minutes maximum to take it. This is an interview between you and a guy. It's not a discussion, it's just speaking. The person asks questions and you are going to answer them. And the very first part is going to be about simple questions, which you have to answer very simply. I mean, do not go for long answers, short, totally fine. And the reason is that you are going to keep your energy for the end of the test, because that's much more important and you can get the most out of it. So let's answer these questions together. Okay, before I tell you what the second part of it is. As I have promised, I have prepared questions, okay? I'm going to answer these questions which are so easy. They do not have scripts. Just try to copy my ideas if you want to, or make your own. The very first question they might ask you is about work, studies, hobbies, some games. And I have chosen this one to discuss today. Work. It is, what's your job? I'm a teacher and I like my job. Finished. Don't go more. If you go more, that's a trap. You're going to get in and this is going to ruin everything for you. Don't do that. Second question. Where do you work? Well, I work in this language school, which is a big one with a lot of students.
Finished.
Don't go more. Number 3. Why did you choose that job? Well, I chose it because I wanted to teach people. And I enjoy teaching, by the way. So what is better than English? Finished. Next, is it a popular job in your country? Very popular. I mean too popular sometimes, that you can get fed up with that. But anyways, people like it and there are lots of teachers out there. However, it's not well paid. Finished. Next, do you like your job? I do, and the reason is because I love communication. Finished. Next one. Do you get on with your colleagues? Of course I do. I'm totally fine with colleagues, male or female, no problem. And we have good bonds. This means we've got good relationships. Next, what was your first day like? My first day of teaching was so stressful because I was supposed to go to a class and perform in front of 20 people. Finished. Next, what responsibilities do you have at work? Well, I teach, I supervise, and I also have to come up with some feedbacks. Next, if you had the chance, would you change your job? Well, I think I wouldn't because I'm passionate about teaching, and even if I had the chance to change it, I would start another career which looked like teaching. And the last one, do you plan to continue your job in the future? Well, I'm not sure. Based on AI, it's going to get riskier in order to continue to make a living as a teacher. But I think I probably will. That's it. Do not go for more. This part is just a warm-up, okay? Even if the examiner says you have to come up with long sentences, don't, okay? Because you are going to pretend you do not have any more answers, and they are enough. I have seen lots of examiners, they tell all those candidates, poor candidates, to continue the answers, but it's not a good idea. They make more mistakes, and this is going to be the problem. Come on, think about it. Even if you speak your mother language, how many mistakes would you make if you speak non-stop for 15 minutes at the end of it? And the point is, most of the speaking mark is located on the last part of it, or the second part of it, not the first one. The first one is not the time to show off. The show off time is going to be put off to the second and especially end of the test. So be very careful with that. Now, let's go for the questions that exist in this book, test 2. If you have them, open them. If you don't, just focus on the video. So, it's going to get more challenging. The way you go on, the more challenging the questions get. So, try to save your energy for that part. And today, this video is focused on some types of questions relating to science. Science might be much more difficult than work for lots of you, unless you are majoring in science. So, no more words, let's get started. The question is, did you like studying science when you were at school? Why? Why not? So it is kind of clear you have to come up with a longer sentence than the previous ones, okay? What do you remember about your science teachers at school? Talk about them, talk about their personality, the way they taught, and these types of ideas, which I will tell you later. How interested are you in science now? Okay, you can say, I am interested, I am not interested, and come up with one reason and finish it. The last one, what do you think has been an important recent scientific development? Why? You can talk about AI, you can talk about computers, you can talk about the science of medical science, chemistry, something that you know very well. This will definitely give you more confidence to get along with. So let's now answer them one by one. The first question was, did you like studying science when you were at school? So be careful with this, because you have to make simple past or past tenses sentences, okay? I have prepared 2 answers. A, yes, of course, learning science was really enjoyable, such as biology and chemistry. Finished. That's all, put an end to that. B, no, I didn't, because learning different science like biology and chemistry were both boring and hard. That's it. The examiner will not ask you to continue, I'm totally sure about it. Even if they do, don't listen to them. Don't. Even if they are really kind to you, don't. Listen to me, do this. It's the policy in order to do very well on the test. Let's continue. Number 2. What do you remember about your science teachers at school? A, as far as I remember, very beautiful expression. As far as I remember means I'm trying to remember a lot, so this is much I can remember. As far as I remember, they were all strict about the lessons because they always emphasized they were important. Strict means they were really hard on us, like parents. They tell you, come on, study, you have to study this, you have to study that, and they set some rules for you. This is how they become strict, all right? And emphasized means they insisted, they always said that. They always said that strongly. That's it. B. I can vaguely remember them, another beautiful expression, except for one. So, vaguely here means I don't have a good memory. So, I can vaguely remember them, except for one. Only one of them I could remember. He was my biology teacher, and we are still in touch. This means we are connected. We sometimes make phone calls. Simple. So, answer the questions simply. Don't take it so hard. 3. How interested are you in science now? Why? Why not? A. After all those years, or after all these years, I have to admit, this means I have to say, I don't see myself. This means I don't think I am. I don't see myself interested because those years were challenging. So this means I had some not good memories about it, so I'm not okay. So I've got two types of answers for you. Whether you were interested or whether you were not. So I have tried to be positive in one of the types of sentences and the other one negative. B. Yes, I suppose so. Means I think so. You know, I have always wanted to know more about humans' body and discover its potential, its possibility. Finished. Don't go through technical answers. It's not the time. Question number 4. What do you think has been an important recent scientific development? Why? I've got one answer for that. That's my idea. So you can copy that. Easy. Let's go for that. I think the most vital scientific improvement has been the development of AI. Artificial intelligence. For example, we now have something like ChatGPT to ask any questions you would like to. So, what I have done here is coming up with an example, and that's all right, to answer the question. Another thing I have done is to alternate, to exchange some vocabularies that have been in the question, and I have tried to use synonyms for them. So, for example, for important, I've said vital. For improvement, for development, I've said improvement. So I just tried to change them. And would like, which I have highlighted, is another word for want. But the point is, this word is much more polite. So if you want to know the difference between want and would like, it's about being polite or being friendly, which I have chosen to be polite because it's IELTS. It's an interview and you have to take care of it. Very important. Let's go. Part 2 is going to take 1 minute to think about the questions the person will give you. As I last time told you, they will give you this paper. It includes some questions. You have to think about it for a minute and you have to talk about the questions for 2 minutes. This is going to be challenging. Now, what's the focus here? The focus is on vocabulary. The more beautiful vocabularies you come up with in order to describe the questions, the better. I promise, if you come up with good vocabulary, they will definitely like it and get stunned and will give you a better score or mark on that. So, before I answer the question myself, okay, I would like you to take a look at the question and then answer it. So, as I haven't actually written that there, the question is about describing a tourist attraction in your country that you would recommend. So you have to talk about the tourist attraction. This tourist attraction can be a historic place, I really recommend that, and I have chosen that theme to talk about. It can be some kind of a modern place. Like in Dubai, we can actually go to Burj Khalifa in order to visit. Or you can check on some towers, for example, Eiffel Tower, if you live in Paris. But this question is about your own country. Don't confuse it. At the very beginning, you say that you are from India. You are from, let's say, Turkey, right? If you say you are from those countries, you have to come up with a tourist attraction that exists in your own country, not choose from other countries. Because this is going to break the whole rules, and then it's going to make it hard for you to talk about. And it is very probable that you won't get a grade. So talk about one place in your country, not others' countries. So you should say what the tourist attraction is. Simple. Where in your country this tourist attraction is. For example, you say it's in the north of the country, it's in the east of the country, or west or south of the country. All right. Or if you want to just go with a kind of a detailed answer, then you can say it is located in northwestern. Okay. What visitors can see and do, you have to talk about the activities, okay? Or you have to talk about the things they can see and why you would recommend this place. This is the question, all right? You can see it. I want you to take your time for 1 minute to think about it and do the task before I give you the answer. So, do it now. Alright, now that you've done that as a piece of exercise for yourself, let's do it together. So, I'd prefer to talk about a tourist attraction. So, every time you start to talk about a place, a person in part 2, try to say, I'd prefer to talk about. This is a beautiful expression in order to start this task, and you know how to start and how to finish, which I later will tell you. I prefer to talk about a tourist attraction situated in the south of my country called Persepolis. Situated means located. This is a new word for you. So, situated in the south of my country. Visitors can see old buildings, palaces, and statues in this site. Site means place. Because they are completely ancient, dating back to 2500 years ago. Here is a point. 2500, 2600. If you have this number, like 20 something, 35, and double zeros, then you say 2500 instead of saying 2500 years ago, because this makes it a bit hard to say it fluently. So I would recommend this way of saying that, and it looks more native without a doubt. There are monuments as well. As well means also. And this place is the most popular landmark in this city. It's not such a place where events take place, but it's a great connection to the Achaemenid Empire. Achaemenid Empire is related to the biggest empires of my country, which I talked about. If you are into history and pay this site a visit, beautiful expression, pay somebody or something a visit. This means visit, but it's much better than visit. You will definitely see it as a reminder of the past. It's full of history, so to speak. If my memory serves me right, this means if I can remember clearly. The very first time my family and I traveled there was when I was 5 years of age. 5 years old, 5 years of age. The moment we arrived, we directly went to the hotel, and right after we checked in, my dad insisted that we would go to this area because my father is passionate about history as I am. To make the long story short, this means to cut the story, not to talk more, not to give you a headache. We spent about 5 hours in this place visiting all around. We took photos and had a lot of fun, as well as having a tour guide telling us all about the statues, monuments, and so on, and stuff like that. Along with all I've mentioned, I'd recommend that everyone visit this historic place due to its rich cultural heritage. That's it. So we got some vocabularies here. Rich cultural heritage. This means what past people, ancient people have left for us is so cultural and it is so rich. Okay, so heritage means something that somebody leave to you, like your parents, grandparents. Alright? Next, due to means because of. I'd recommend that everyone visit. This is a very beautiful expression. And I'm going to tell you something about this part. It's very important. So the thing is, a vocabulary like recommend, I'd recommend that everyone visit. So we technically know that everyone must get S. I mean, everyone visits. But because this structure is completely different, all the subjects will follow one simple verb. For example, I'd recommend that he visit this historic place. You see? Because the structure is so different. Okay? Before visit, there is a hypothetical, imaginary should. The sentence is this: I'd recommend that everyone should visit. I recommend that she should visit. So, should is optional, we can remove it, and there will be only visit. And visit doesn't get S when it comes after modal verbs. That's it. That is the reason why visit doesn't get an S. It's not something wrong. Along with means plus. Besides. Passionate about means crazy about. Years of age means years old. So to speak means as I am talking about it. A reminder of past, this means reminds you of past times. As well also, and 2500 years. Situated in, located in. That's all. So let's now go for part 3. Part 3 has got these questions, so I'm not going to read them right now because it's going to take a lot of time. But it's about museums and art galleries, which might be a bit challenging because if you do not have any ideas on what to say and what to talk about, then it's going to be very hard for you. But let's now dive in and just do it. The first question is about what are the most popular museums and art galleries where you live? So, this is the answer I've prepared for you. Since I live in Iran, I consider the National Museum of Iran as one of the most popular ones. One main reason is that you can find the most precious artistic achievements and cultural civilizations of ancient times, such as sculptures, pottery, and so many more. You should also go to the cafe there. 2 structures I've got for you. One is about I consider something, someone, some places as a or an plus a noun, plus an adjective, then a noun. For example, you say, I consider the National Museum of Iran as one of the most popular ones. Popular is the adjective and ones is the noun for me. So there is a mistyping happened. You should replace the noun and the adjective because English looks like Turkish. First we have the adjective, then the noun, like a beautiful girl. And the other structure, getting back to this, is should. Should is a modal verb. Today I have tried to concentrate on modal verbs to tell you how important they are. So let's go for next question. You'll see. Do you believe that museums and art galleries should be free without paying for the tickets? As I see it, beautiful expression, to start the sentence. Every sentence. It is totally okay to start any sentence with as I see it, but please do not overuse that, because the more you use one expression repeatedly, the more signals you send the examiner that I just know this level of English and my English is not that good. So be very careful with that. As I see it, I'd say yes. To my mind, since countries ought to make an effort in order to get people familiar with their history and civilizations, there should be more events so that people can attend on the house. I've got a lot for you here. For instance, every year authorities can invite people and take them on some free tours. So you might not have understood some of the vocabularies and expressions. So ought to means should, another modal verb. Make an effort means try. In order to is a more formal and longer expression instead of to. So you can say make an effort to get people, but I have said make an effort in order to get people familiar. Again, we've got should as a modal verb. Today the focus is on that and a lot more. On the house. On the house means for free. It's an adverb. On the house. For free. For example, you actually say, here is a drink and it's on the house. Here is an adjective. So, it's on the house. This means it is free. That's it. Authorities are people who are responsible for something very important. Next one. What kinds of things make a museum or art gallery an interesting place to visit? Different things. First and foremost, I have to point out that generally, art has got the most fans and could steal more attention. Second, I must name treasure of various empires. And finally, a collection of cars will probably make a difference because people are crazy in love with cars and vehicles in general. So simple, okay? You have to come up with a simple answer, okay? But I have tried to come up with a longer one and use more of expressions and vocabularies that can surprise the listener or the examiner, okay? So first and foremost means the most important thing is that. I have to point out means I have to say. Generally means normally. And steal more attention means attract more attention, to be more attractive. Could, must, and will are modals of this part. So as you see, after them we just use a simple verb. Could steal, must name, cars will probably make. You see? Let's go for question 4. Why do you think do some people book package holidays rather than travel independently? The very first challenging point is this. What is the meaning of package holidays? What is the meaning of travel independently? We might know travel independently, but what about package holidays? If you travel independently, you just go to the agency, you buy a ticket, you do it online or just face to face. Then you take the plane, you go to a hotel, that's it. You do everything yourself. But if you reserve a package holiday, you go to the agency, you ask the agent to introduce you some package holidays. For example, there is a package, it has got breakfast, lunch and dinner, alright? So that's a full holiday. You say, okay, I'll take this. And you can find cheaper prices too for package holidays. That's the point. Now it says, now why do some people book package holidays rather than traveling independently, okay? I have come up with 2 reasons here. People do so means do this thing. Every time you say so, this means people do this thing. It shows a positive, kind of a positive impression. People do so because in this way, they are able to save money and they might be on a tight budget. Be on a tight budget denotes that people do not have a lot of money, okay? Their budget is limited. For example, 2 years ago, my wife and I went to Bali booking a package holiday, which cost me only half the price if I'd traveled independently. And that's an example. I've come up with 2 reasons, and the examiner wants me to talk about reasons and an example to support what I'm talking about. So simple. Might and are able to are 2 more modals to talk about. Very beautiful. Next one. I've got some points here. I just said I'd traveled independently. So my sentence was, 2 years ago, my wife and I went to Bali booking a package holiday, which cost me only half the price if I'd traveled independently. So here, this part of it, if I'd traveled independently, is a past tense structure, and that is past perfect. Alright? Had plus PP. That I'd is short form of I had traveled. And this structure is mostly used in the 3rd conditional sentences. You can check online. And later, I will definitely make some videos about grammar too. So just keep up with me. 5. Would you say that large number of tourists cause problems for local people? Depending on what types of people or tourists we mean by the question, I am to say, I have to say, yes and no. I prefer to say yes, because if those tourists were not environmentally aware, this means not aware of the environment, they might cause many environmental problems. But on the other hand, if we raised environmental awareness, we would undoubtedly limit probable problems to a care. You see, what a structure do we have here is the 2nd conditional to talk about imaginary situations. And if you talk about imaginary situations, you have to use the 2nd conditional. The structure is if plus simple past, and then on the other part of it, on the other clause, the main clause, we've got would plus the base form. So, if simple past, would simple form of the verb. Like this. If those tourists were not environmentally aware, they might cause many environmental issues. The point is, instead of would, you can easily use might. But on the other hand, if we raised simple past, Environmental awareness, we would undoubtedly limit, simple form of the verb, probable problems to occur. This is called the second conditional when we imagine if something happened, something would happen. Question 6, the last one. What sorts of impact can large holiday results have on the environment? There may be two sorts of impacts. One could be a minus, could be a negative point. I mean, tourism could damage those resorts by dumping waste and logging branches of trees, while the other is a plus. The other means the other impact is a plus, is a positive point. They could help local people if they bought handmade objects or if visitors did volunteer work, such as picking up trash. They would definitely make a contribution. Make a contribution means make a good change. As you see, this type of question requires more of conditional sentences because we have to imagine. And you have to find excuses in order to use different grammar. Otherwise, you're gonna lose the game. So, be creative. That's what I can tell you. Even if you are very good at English and you are not creative, you are going to lose this. Swear. So, our focus today was on conditional sentences like first, mostly second, and modal verbs. So check them out online if you want to know more about them. And if you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like it, and share it with other people who are preparing for IELTS, for studying abroad or immigrating, and enjoy your day and night. See you later.